Welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this little cardigan sweater, coat, or jacket for baby boys and girls between 0 and 3 months. The stitch pattern that I used to make this little cardigan is the marshmallow stitch. It's absolutely beautiful and very easy to make, so I hope you like it. Now, this little cardigan, like I said, is for 0 to 3 months, but you can easily make it smaller or bigger from a newborn size and up to 12 months. Down here in the information box, I'll go ahead and leave you some information on how you can easily make it smaller or bigger, so be sure to check that out. And as always, if you prefer a written pattern, check out my Etsy shop. I'll leave the link to my Etsy shop up here on the right hand side and in the information box below. Thank you so much for your support. Now, to make this little cardigan sweater, this is the yarn that I used. This is DK weight. You can also use any number 3 yarn or 8 ply. For the 0 to 3 month size, you're going to need exactly 100 grams and 5 buttons that are 12 millimeter size. You will need less or more depending on the size that you make. Now stay tuned. In another tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the matching little pants. In the channel, I already have a tutorial for the matching hat and a bonnet. I'll leave those links in the information box as well. Okay, without further ado, let's get started, and thank you so much for watching. To begin, I'll be using this 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. This is an E-hook or a size 5 US hook. And today I'm using this DK weight yarn. At the beginning of the video, I showed you the yarn that I'm using and I told you how much yarn we're going to need for the size that we're making here in this tutorial. So to begin here, the first thing that we need to do is we need to make our chain. I need to make a total of 46 chains. Many of you comment and ask, how do you make a chain? This is totally for a new beginner. So to do a chain, all you do is just wrap the yarn around and pull through. Well, the first thing you do is a slip knot. So let's begin from the very beginning. You make a slip knot, insert your hook, and now you're going to wrap the yarn around and pull through that loop, wrap the yarn around and pull through that, and so on. Remember that you can always slow the video. Just go here to the top and there's a little gear there where you can change the speed of the tutorial. So if you need this to be a little slower, you can always slow the tutorial down. And that's how I'm going to continue here and make my chains until I have a total of 46 chains. So continue chain 46 and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I finished making my chains. I have 46 chains. Now this chain without stretching, it's measuring about 9.25 inches, which is about 23.5 centimeters. Now if your chain is off by 1 or 2 centimeters less or more, it's okay. Just continue with the first row. So here, to begin, into the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4. Into this 4th chain, I'm going to make my first stitch. The stitch that I'm going to use to make the yoke is the double crochet herringbone stitch. There are many variations of the herringbone stitch. So here, to begin, the first thing that you need to do with this double crochet herringbone stitch, I'm just going to call it a herringbone stitch from now on, is yarn over, and into this 4th chain, you're going to grab a loop. Now you're going to take off one loop, grab a loop and take off one, grab a loop and take off two. Again, yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain and grab a loop. Remove one loop, grab a loop and remove one, grab a loop and remove two. And this is how we're going to work this stitch from here on. I think it's also known as the extended double crochet, but I call it the double crochet herringbone stitch because it does look like a herringbone pattern. So now here I'm going to make a total of 6, including the 3 chains. So here I have 5. I just need to make one more. So I have 5 herringbone stitches and I have the 3 chains. So that's 6 stitches here. Now to make the first corner, chain 1. Into the next chain, make another herringbone stitch. Now this here is the first corner. You can place a stitch marker. I'm going to do this after I finish this row. Now into the next chain, make another one. Here we're making the stitches for the shoulder, or what's going to be the sleeve. And for the sleeve, I'm going to make a total of 10. So go ahead and finish making these 10 herringbone stitches, and then I'll come back and show you how we're going to make the second corner. I finished making these 10 herringbone stitches for the first sleeve. Now to make the second corner, chain 1. Into the next chain, make a herringbone stitch. Place a stitch marker to mark the second corner here. I already placed a stitch marker also for the first corner. Now for the back side, we're going to make a total of 12. So I already have one. Into the next chain, make the second one, and continue until you have 12. I'll come back and show you how we're going to make the third corner. I finished making these 12 stitches for the back side. Now to make the third corner, chain 1, and into the next chain, make a herringbone stitch. Now place a stitch marker to mark the third corner. And now for the second sleeve, we're going to make a total of 10. I have one. Into the next chain, make the second one, and continue until you have 10. I'll come back and show you how we're going to make the fourth corner. I finished making these 10 stitches for the second sleeve. Now to make the fourth corner, chain 1, and into the next chain here, make a stitch. Now place a stitch marker to mark the fourth corner, and here we're going to finish with 6 of these stitches. I have one already, so into the next chain, make the second one, and into the next another one until we finish the row. There, I finished the last 6. At the end of this first row, you should have a total of 44 stitches. Each one of the front panels has 6. Each one of the sleeves has 10, and for the back side, I have 12. So that's a total of 44 stitches at the end of this first row. Now for row 2, we're going to chain 2 and turn. These 2 chains will never count as a stitch. Beginning on top of the first stitch, we're going to make the first herringbone stitch. Into the next, make the second one. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now remove the stitch marker. Now for each corner, you're going to make 2 separated by 1 chain. So here's the first one, chain 1, and then make another one into this same chain space. And this is how we're going to work each corner. In the chain space of each corner, you're going to do these 2 herringbone stitches separated by a chain. Make sure to return the stitch marker to mark the corner, and now you're just going to continue and work the rest of the stitches. So for this section here, this is for the sleeve, you're going to make 10, and when you come to the corner, you're going to do the same thing I did here. Then you're going to continue with the back side. For the back side, you're going to do 12 and then make the third corner. For the second sleeve, you're going to make 10 and then make the fourth corner and finish here with these last 6 stitches. I will meet you at the end of this second row. I'm here at the end of the second row. Now here at the end, to make your last stitch, we have the 3 chains. Go into the third chain here at the end and make the last stitch. And this is how I finished the second row. At the end of this second row, I have a total of 52 stitches. Each one of the front panels has 7 stitches. Each one of the sleeves has 12, and for the back side, I have 14. So that's a total of 52 stitches at the end of this second row. Now for row 3, we're going to chain 2 and turn. Remember, the 2 chains never count. Now here to begin, I'm going to work these 7 stitches for the first front panel. So beginning on top of the first stitch, I'm going to make my first herringbone stitch. That's 1, 7. Remove the stitch marker, and in the chain space of this first corner, you're going to make a stitch here, chain 1, and then another one in the same chain space. There. Return your stitch marker. You're going to work each one of the corners in the same way. So here, to continue for the third row, you're going to make these 12 stitches, then make the second corner. For the back side, you're going to make 14, then make the third corner. For the second sleeve, you're going to make 12 and then make the fourth corner, and then finish here with these last 7 stitches. I'll meet you at the end of this third row. I'm here at the end of the third row. Now at the end of the third row, I have a total of 60 stitches. Each one of the front panels has 8 stitches. Each one of the sleeves has 14, and for the back side I have 16. So that's a total of 60 stitches at the end of the third row. Now for row 4, we're going to chain 2 and turn. Now beginning on top of the first stitch, I'm going to make the first herringbone stitch, and I'm going to continue until I come to the first corner. So that's 1, 8. Remove the stitch marker, and in the chain space, make a herringbone stitch, chain 1, and then another one. Return the stitch marker to mark the corner. And now you're just going to continue and do the same thing, 1 stitch for each one of these stitches. Here for the sleeve, you're going to make a total of 14, then make the second corner. For the back side, you're going to make 16, then make the third corner. For the second sleeve, you're going to make 14 and then make the fourth corner, and then finish here with these last 8 stitches. I'll meet you at the end of this fourth row. I'm here at the end of the fourth row. At the end of this fourth row, I have a total of 68 stitches. Each one of the front panels has 9 stitches. Each one of the sleeves has 16 stitches. And for the back side, I have 18. So that's a total of 68 stitches at the end of the fourth row. Now for row 5, I'm going to chain 2 and turn. Here I'm going to work these stitches for the first front panel. So beginning on top of the first stitch, I'm going to make the first stitch here. That's 1, 9. Remove the stitch marker, and in this corner you're going to make a herringbone stitch, chain 1, and then another one. And that's how you're going to work each corner. So here you're just going to continue and make 16 for the first sleeve, then make the second corner, 18 for the back side, then make the third corner, 16 for the second sleeve, and make the fourth corner, and finish here with these last 9 stitches. I'll meet you at the end of the fifth row. I'm here at the end of the fifth row. I have a total of 76 stitches. Now each one of the front panels has 10 stitches. Each one of the sleeves has 18, and for the back side I have 20 stitches. So that's a total of 76 stitches at the end of this fifth row. Now for row 6, I'm going to chain 2 and turn. Now here, beginning on top of the first stitch, I'm going to make the first stitch, and I'm going to continue and make 1 stitch until I come to the first corner. So that's 2, 10. Remove the stitch marker for the first corner here, and inside this corner I'm going to make 1, chain 1, and then make another one. Return the stitch marker, Now you're going to continue and do the same thing for the next section. Here for the sleeve, you're going to do a total of 18. Then you're going to make the second corner. For the back side, you're going to make 20, then make the third corner. For the second sleeve, you're going to make 18, then make the fourth corner, and finish here with these last 10 stitches. I will meet you at the end of this 6th row. I finished row 6. At the end of this 6th row, I have a total of 84 stitches. Each one of the front panels has 11 stitches. Each one of the sleeves has 20 stitches, and for the back side, I have 22 stitches. Now we're going to make one more row. So for row 7, I'm going to chain 2 and turn. Here I'm going to work 1 stitch on each one of these stitches until I come to the first corner. So beginning on top of the first stitch, make the first herringbone stitch. That's 1. Here's the first corner. Remove the stitch marker, and in this corner you're going to make the first herringbone stitch, then chain 1, and then make another one, all in this same chain space of the first corner. Now return the stitch marker and continue and do the same thing for the first sleeve. Here you're going to work a total of 20, then make the second corner. For the back side, you're going to make 22, then make the third corner. For the second sleeve, you're going to make 20, then make the fourth corner, and finish here with these last 11 stitches. So continue, finish row 7, and I'll meet you at the end. Finish the 7th row. At the end of this 7th row, I have a total of 92 stitches. Each one of the front panels has 12 stitches. Each one of the sleeves has 22 stitches, and for the back side, I have 24 stitches. So that's a total of 92 stitches. Now, the last row, row 7, was worked on the right side. That's why I have placed a stitch marker here to mark the front side. From here on, this is going to be the wrong side of the little sweater. Now, let me give you the measurement as it is. So from here up to here, right across, it's measuring about 8.5 centimeters, which is almost 3.5 inches. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to start on row 8. For row 8, we're going to change the stitch pattern. So here, chain 2 and turn. The 2 chains never count. Now here, beginning on top of the first stitch, make a double crochet. Now skip 1 and into the next make a V-stitch. Each one of the V stitches is going to consist of a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Again, skip 1 and into the next, make another V stitch, and this is how I'm going to continue until I come to the first corner. Skip 1 and into the next, a V stitch. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, that row 8 is being worked on the wrong side. Now here I have the last stitch in the chain space. Here, make a V-stitch. This is the first corner, so right there. So here for this front panel, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 V-stitch in the corner. Now to continue, I'm going to skip the next stitch, this one here, and into the second one, make a V-stitch. Again, skip 1 and into the next, make a V-stitch, and this is how you're going to continue until you come to the second corner. I will meet you right here. I finished making the V-stitches for the first sleeve. I have a total of 10 V-stitches. I still have 2 stitches left. Instead of making my V-stitch into this double crochet, I'm going to make it into the second corner in the chain space. So we're going to skip these 2 double crochets here at the end, and in the corner make the V-stitch. Now to continue along for the back side, I'm going to skip the first stitch, and into the next one I'm going to make a V-stitch. Skip 1 and into the next, a V-stitch. So continue like this until you come here to the third corner. I finished making these V-stitches for the back side. I have the second corner, so after the second corner I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 V-stitches. Now here at the end I'm going to skip these two. Instead of making my V-stitch on top of the second one here before the corner, I'm going to go into the corner and make this into the third corner. So make a V-stitch there. I'm going to place a stitch marker to mark the corner here. And now I'm going to continue here for the second sleeve. So here to begin, skip one and into the next, make a V-stitch. Skip one and into the next, make a V-stitch, and so on. Continue for the second sleeve. I will meet you right here 2 stitches before we finish to show you how we're going to make the fourth corner. I finished making these V-stitches for the second sleeve. I have 10 V-stitches. Here's the third corner. So after the third corner, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 V-stitches, just like I have here for the first sleeve. Now here at the end, I'm going to skip these last 2 double crochets, and into the fourth corner, I'm going to make a V-stitch. Now I'm going to place a stitch marker here to mark the fourth corner. And now I'm going to continue and finish the second front panel. Skip the first stitch and into the next, make a V-stitch, and so on. So continue, I'll meet you at the end of this 8th row. I'm here at the end of this 8th row. Now to finish this row, I have the last 2 double crochets. I'm going to skip the next, and on top of the last one, I'm going to make a double crochet. And this is how I finish this 8th row. At the end of this 8th row, you should have a total of 45 V-stitches, and then we have a double crochet here at the end and a double crochet here at the beginning. Now each one of the front panels has 5 V-stitches. Each one of the sleeves has 10 V-stitches, and for the back side I have 11. So that's a total of 45 V-stitches, including the V-stitches for each corner at the end of this 8th row. Now in the next row, row 1, we're going to divide the sleeves, and this is going to be worked on the right side. The last row, row 8, was worked from the wrong side, so make sure that this first row is being worked on the right side because we're going to divide the sleeves. So here to begin, chain 2 and turn, beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet. Now I have the first V-stitch. I have 2 double crochets and a chain 1 space. Into the first double crochet, make a front post double crochet. In the chain space, make a fan. Each fan is going to consist of 2 double crochets, 1 chain, 2 double crochets. And into the second double crochet of this same V-stitch, make a front post double crochet. Let me show you again. We have the second V-stitch. Into the first double crochet, make a front post double crochet. In the chain space, make a fan. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and then a front post double crochet. And this is how I'm going to work each one of these V-stitches. This is a 2-row repeat, by the way. The first row is the V-stitch row. So this is going to be the fan row. There, I finished making these 5 fans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this front panel. Now I have the corner here. Inside this corner, I'm going to do the same thing. a front post double crochet, and then a fan. There, so now I have 6 fans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including this one here that I did in this corner. Now, to separate the sleeve, I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and into the next corner, I'm going to make the same thing, a front post double crochet, a fan inside the chain space, and a front post double crochet. There, this is how I'm going to divide the sleeve. Now I'm going to continue for the back side and do the same thing for each one of the V-stitches, just like this. So continue. I will meet you right here in this corner to show you how to separate the second sleeve. I finished making these fans for the back side, including the one I have here in this corner. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Now into this third corner, I'm going to make one more, so that here for the back side, I have 13 fans. There, I now have 13 fans for the back side. To divide the second sleeve, chain 3. I'm going to skip 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 V-stitches for the second sleeve, and into the fourth corner, same thing, make a front post double crochet, a fan in the chain space, and a front post double crochet. Now continue and finish these remaining V-stitches for the second front panel. I will meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this first row. I finished making these fans for the second front panel. I have 6, 2, 4, 6. Now to finish here at the end on top of the last double crochet, make a double crochet. And this is how I finish this first row. In this row, we have separated the sleeves. Now each one of the front panels has 6 fans. For the back side, I have 13, and under each sleeve, I have 3 chains. Now for row 2, I'm going to chain 2 and turn on top of this first double crochet, make a double crochet. We always start with a double crochet, and we always end with a double crochet. Now the marshmallow stitch consists of 2 rows, the row of V-stitches and the row of fans. So in this row, I need to make the row of V-stitches, and all you have to do is make a V-stitch inside the chain space of each fan. Let me show you. This is the first fan. Here's the chain space. So here you're just going to make a V-stitch into the next. Same thing, a V-stitch. Now the V-stitch row is going to be worked on the wrong side always, and the row of fans is always going to be worked on the right side. So this here is the wrong side right now. Here I'm going to show you what you need to do under the sleeves. There, I have 6 V-stitches, 2, 4, 6. Now, under the sleeve, we have the 3 chains. I'm going to skip 1 chain, and into the next chain, which is the center chain here, I'm going to make a V-stitch. If you made more chains, then you're going to skip 1 chain and into the next, make a V-stitch, skip 1 chain and into the next a V-stitch, and so on until you have the number of V-stitches here under the sleeve that you need. Now continue for the back side and do the same thing. When you come to the second sleeve, under the sleeve, you're going to do the same thing. So continue, make V-stitches here, make a V-stitch into the second chain, and then continue and finish the second front panel. I'll meet you at the end of this second row. I'm here at the end of the second row. In this row I did V-stitches. I have a total of 27 V-stitches at the end of this row. From here on, we're always going to have 27 V-stitches or 27 fans. And to finish each row from here on, you always go here to the end on top of the last double crochet, make a double crochet. And that's how you finish each row. Now from here on, like I said, we are going to be repeating the row of fans and the row V-stitches. So to start you off here for the third row, I'm going to chain 2 and turn. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet. Then we have the first V-stitch, we have 2 double crochets into the first double crochet, make a front post double crochet. In the chain space, make a fan. Now these fans always consist of 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and then a front post double crochet into the second double crochet of this first V-stitch. And that's how you're going to work each one of the V-stitches. So continue. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. So continue repeating these 2 rows and continue watching. I will let you know how many rows I'm going to do. So I will meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished making this part of the little sweater. I have done a total of 14 rows. So from here up to here, there's 14 rows, and it's measuring from the top of the shoulder to the end of the last row. It's measuring about 25 centimeters, which is almost 10 inches. So here, let's continue with row 15, and we're going to start the hem here. So to begin with the hem, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Here, for this row, I'm going to go on top of the first stitch and make a half double crochet. Now in the chain space of each fan, you're going to make 2 half double crochets. In between the fans, right in the center, make 1 half double crochet. Again, inside the fans, make 2 half double crochets. And in the middle between these 2, make a half double crochet. And that's how we're going to continue to the end of row 15. I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of row 15. Now here at the end, on top of the last double crochet, I'm going to make a half double crochet. And this is how I finish this row. I have a total of 82 half double crochets. Now for row 16, chain 1 and turn. Beginning on top of the first half double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now into the next one, which is the second one, make a front post half double crochet. Into the next back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet into the next, back post half double crochet into the next, and so on. This is how I'm going to continue for row 16. So continue. I will meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of row 16. To finish, go on top of the last stitch and make a half double crochet. And this is how I finish row 16. This is where I did front post and back post half double crochets, and I have a total of 82 stitches. Now for row 17, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Now here, beginning on top of the first stitch, make a half double crochet. Now beginning with the second stitch, make a front post half double crochet. Into the next back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet into the next, and so on. Here we're just going to work these stitches exactly how they are. If it's a front post, make a front post half double crochet. If it's a back post, then make a back post half double crochet, and so on. Continue, finish row 17. I will meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this 17th row. In this row, I have done front post and back post half double crochets. To finish, go on top of the last stitch and make a half double crochet. And this is how I finish this row, row 17, with a total of 82 stitches. So the hem is done, and this is how it looks. Now we're going to work this front panel with the sweater facing me. This will be the right side. So we're going to go here along the very edge of this front panel, and we're going to make half double crochets. So to do this, this is going to be row 1. We're going to work this row from the wrong side. So here, chain 1. and right at the end of this last row right here, make a half double crochet. At the end of the next row, make a half double crochet. Now at the end of the next row here, make 2 half double crochets. At the end of the next row, 2. At the end of the next, 2, and so on. So for the body, we're going to work 2 half double crochets along the very edge at the end of each row, like this. So continue. I'll meet you right here to show you how we're going to work the yoke. I finished making these half double crochets for this front panel. Now from here up to here, I have a total of 32 half double crochets. Now for the yoke, this is what we're going to do. Into the next row, which is this first row here of the yoke, make 2 half double crochets. At the end of the next row, make 1. At the end of the next row, make 2. At the end of the next, 1. And at the end of the next, 2. 1 at the end of the next row, and then 1 at the end of the next, and 1 here at the very top, right there where the chain is. So here you should have, like, let's see, we had 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 41, 42, 43. I have 43 half double crochets for this front panel. Make sure to not make too many half double crochets, otherwise this part here is going to hang, it's going to have too many stitches. And make sure that whatever number you have here, make sure that you do the same thing here for the second front panel. Now for the second row, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Now beginning on top of the first half double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now into the next, which is the second one, make a front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet into the next, back post half double crochet into the next, and so on. This is how I'm going to work this second row. Continue alternating between a front post and a back post half double crochet. I will meet you right here. I'm here at the end of this second row. Now here at the end on top of the last stitch, make a half double crochet. And this is how I finished the second row. In this row I did front post and back post half double crochets. I'm going to make one more row, but if you want to leave it like this, you can just cut your yarn and pass your yarn through that next loop. I'm going to make one more row, so I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Now beginning on top of this first stitch, make a half double crochet, and now we're going to work these stitches exactly how they are. This next stitch is a back post, so make a back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet into the next, back post half double crochet into the next, front post into the next, and so on. Continue, finish this third row. I will meet you right here at the top to show you how we're going to work the neckline. I'm here at the end of this third row for this first front panel. Now here at the end on top of the last stitch, make a half double crochet. And this is how I finished the third row of this front panel. This side here is done. I have a total of 43 stitches at the end of the third row as well. Now we're going to continue all around the neckline. So to do this here, I'm going to chain 1, and at the end of this last row, row 3 of the front panel, make a half double crochet. At the end of the next row, a half double crochet, and at the end of the next row, a half double crochet. Now here I have 3 half double crochets because we did 3 rows. Now beginning with this first stitch here for the neckline, not this one but this one here, see where we did this half double crochet for the first row of the front panel. So right here into this same one, I'm going to make a front post half double crochet, into the next a back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet into the next, back post half double crochet into the next, and so on. This is how I'm going to continue around the neckline, just alternating between a front post and a back post half double crochet. Continue. I will meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this row around the neckline. Now here at the end, just go on top of the last stitch here. This is the row of chains, so right into that last chain, make a half double crochet right on top. And this is how I finished this row around the neckline. In this row I did front post and back post half double crochets. I have a total of 47 stitches at the end here. Now for the second front panel, we're going to work this row from the wrong side. So this would be row 1 for the second front panel. So chain 1 here, and at the end of this last row, here's the last half double crochet that I did. Here, make 1 half double crochet. At the end of the next row, make 2 half double crochets. At the end of the next, make 1. At the end of the next, 2. 1 at the end of the next row, and then 2 at the end of the next. 1 and then 2. There. Now for the body here, this is the row of V stitches that we did. From here on, we're just going to make 2 half double crochets at the end of each row. The important thing here is that you have the same number of stitches as you did for the first front panel. For me, I had 43 half double crochets, so I'm going to make sure to have 43 half double crochets here for this second front panel. So continue. I'll meet you here at the end of this first row of the second front panel to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this first row for the second front panel. Now here at the end, I'm going to make my last half double crochet, and this is how I finish the first row. I have a total of 43 half double crochets here. Now for the second row, chain 1 and turn. Beginning on top of the first stitch, make a half double crochet. Now into the next one, the second one, start with a front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet into the next, front post half double crochet into the next, back post half double crochet into the next, and so on. You're just going to continue alternating between a front post and a back post half double crochet for this second row. So continue. I will meet you here at the top at the end of the second row to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of the second row now. Here at the end on top of the last stitch, make a half double crochet, and here's the second row where I did front post and back post half double crochets. I have 43 stitches at the end of this second row. Now for row 3, chain 1 and turn. In this row we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to start with a half double crochet on top of the first stitch, and then I'm going to work these stitches exactly how they are. This first one here is a back post, so make a back post half double crochet. Next one, front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet into the next, front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, and so on. Continue. Finish this third row. After you finish, just cut your yarn and pass your yarn through that last loop, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to make the sleeves. I finished making this third row for the second front panel. Now here at the end, I did my last half double crochet. I cut my yarn and passed my yarn through this last loop, and this part here is done. Now I did not add any buttonholes because the spaces in between the rows of half double crochets that we did are big enough for buttons to fit through. With a 3.5mm hook, I normally use buttons that are 10, 11, or 12mm size. At the end of the video, when I give you the finished measurements, I'll let you know what size buttons I'm going to use for my little sweater. And remember, you can make this little sweater for boys and girls. If you're making it for girl, this side is where the buttonholes are going to go, or these spaces here are the buttonholes, and then you're going to attach your buttons on this side. If it's for boys, it's the opposite. You're going to attach your buttons on this side, and on this side is where the buttonholes are going to be. Again, the spaces in between the rows here of half double crochets are going to be your buttonholes. Now what we're going to do next is the sleeve. I already went ahead and did this side, so I'm going to show you how to do the right side with the sweater facing me. So we're going to go here to the right side. You're going to do exactly the same thing I'm going to show you here when you do the left side. It's done exactly in the same way. So here to begin, you're just going to go right under the sleeve, and right under the sleeve we have this center chain that we have So into this space, I'm going to go in between the double crochets, or you can go into this middle chain. I'm going to go in between to just reinforce that stitch right there. I'm going to grab a loop, bring it through. I'm using the same hook size and the same yarn here. I'm going to now chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now insert your hook back into this same space and make a double crochet. This here is a V-stitch that I just did. Now I have the first V-stitch out of the 10 that we left for each one of the sleeves. I don't want a gap between this V-stitch and the next one. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, insert your hook into this space. This is a chain space because we added 3 chains here. We have 1 chain here, 1 in the center, and 1 on this side. So insert your hook into this chain space, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops on the hook, and now I'm going to go straight to the first V-stitch, and right into this first double crochet I'm going to make my front post double crochet where I close through these 3 loops, and that way there's no gap. Now I'm going to finish this fan here by going into the chain space and making my fan. So 2 double crochets, 1 chain, 2 double crochets, and then a front post double crochet. Now we have the next V-stitch, make a front post double crochet, a fan in the chain space, and then a front post double crochet. And then you're going to do the same thing for the remaining V-stitches until you come here. Here at the end, I'm going to show you how we're going to finish this first row for the first sleeve. I'm here at the end of this first row for the first sleeve. Now I have a total of 10 fans, and right in the center here I have a V-stitch. Now to finish here, I have my last fan. I still need to make my front post double crochets. So here to finish, what I'm going to do is I'm going to double crochet 2 together. So I'm going to complete this fan by making a front post double crochet, but I'm not going to close this stitch. I'm going to leave 2 loops, and I'm going to go right here into this chain space under the sleeve, and I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook, take 2 loops off. I have 3 loops in the hook, close. Here's the double crochet 2 together, and now to finish, go here into the chain 3 space and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished this first row for the first sleeve with a total of 10 fans and 1 V-stitch here in the center. Now for the second row, I'm going to chain 3, and right into this space here I'm going to make a double crochet. This here counts as 1 V-stitch. Now in each one of the chain spaces of each fan, we're going to make V-stitches. Now since we're working the pattern here in the round, you don't need to turn or anything. You're just going to continue in the round and work both rows on the right side. So for row 2 here, all we're doing is making V-stitches in the chain space of each fan. Continue all around. I will meet you here at the end to show you how we're going to finish this second row. I'm here at the end of this second row. I have a total of 11 V-stitches, including this first one here. Now to finish this row, just go into the chain 3 space and make a slip stitch. And this is how I finish the second row with 11 V-stitches. Now here to begin the third row, I'm going to chain 3. I'm only going to chain 3 because I'm going to decrease the V-stitch in this row. So here to continue now, just go into the next V-stitch and make a fan. So start with a front post double crochet in the chain space, make your fan, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and then a front post double crochet, and then continue and do the same thing for each one. I will meet you here at the end of this third row to show you how we're going to finish this row and then start on the fourth row. I'm here at the end of the third row. In this row I did fans, and I have a total of 10 fans. Now to finish, I'm going to go on top of the first double crochet, which in this case is the front post double crochet, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finish this third row with a total of 10 fans. Now for row 4, I'm going to make 3 slip stitches. I'm going to make 1 on top of the next double crochet, 1 on top of the next, and 1 in the chain space. So when you have to do this row of V-stitches, this is how you're going to begin each row, by making these 3 slip stitches. Now here I'm going to make 4 chains. The 3 chains here counts as 1 double crochet, and then we have a chain space, and into this same chain space make a double crochet. So this here counts as 1 V-stitch. Now in the chain space of each one of the fans, you're going to make your V-stitch like this. So from here on, we're going to repeat row 4 and row 5. I'm going to show you row 5 next. So continue, finish row 4 where you do V-stitches. I will meet you here at the end to show you how to finish this row and then how to begin the 5th row. I'm here at the end of this 4th row. This is where I did V-stitches. I have a total of 10 V-stitches. Now to finish this row, the row of V-stitches, all you do is just go here to the side of the 4 chains and join with a slip stitch. Now for row 5, from here on, row 4 and row 5 is what you're going to repeat. You're going to chain 1, and right here I'm going to make my first front post double crochet because we're right to the side of this V-stitch. So I'm going to make a front post double crochet here, and then make my fan in the chain space. A front post double crochet, and here's the first fan for row 5. Now for each V-stitch you're going to do the same thing: a front post double crochet, a fan in the chain space, and a front post double crochet. At the end of row 5 you're going to have 10 fans. Continue, finish this row. I will meet you here at the end to once again show you how to finish the row of fans and how to begin once again the row of V-stitches. I'm here at the end of this 5th row. I have a total of 10 fans. Now here to finish this row, all you're going to do is just go on top of the first double crochet. So right here in this case it's the front post double crochet, and you're going to join with a slip stitch. Now this is how you're going to finish each row from here on when you do the row of fans. Now for row 6 we're going to repeat the same thing we did in the 4th row where we did the row of V-stitches. So here I'm going to start you off, since from here on you're just going to continue and repeat these 2 rows, row 4 and row 5. You can always just rewind the video and go back to these rows, but it's easy. All you do here to begin the row of V-stitches is make these 3 slip stitches. You're going to make a slip stitch on top of the next double crochet, a slip stitch on top of the next, and a slip stitch in the chain space. Once here you're going to chain 4 and then make a double crochet into this same space. So here's the first V-stitch. Now in the chain space of each fan you're going to make a V-stitch and continue all around, just doing the same thing for this 6th row. Now to finish this row you're going to go here in the chain 4 space, make a slip stitch, then you're going to chain 1 and then repeat the same thing we did here in the 5th row. You're going to make a front post double crochet in the chains here and then complete your fan, and then do a fan into each one of the V-stitches and so on. So continue now, just repeating row 4 and 5 for a total of, let's see, we're going to do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 rows here for the sleeve, and then I'm going to come back and show you how we're going to make the cuff. So continue and I'll meet you at the end of the 12th row. I finished making these 12 rows. For the sleeve, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. The last row is the row of fans. I have 10 fans at the end of each row. Now, the measurement, I'm going to give it to you at the end of the tutorial. What we're going to do next is the cuff, and I'm going to do it like this. So for row 13 here, I'm going to make these 3 slip stitches. Once here, I'm going to chain 1 and make 2 half double crochets into this chain space. That's 1 and 2. Now in the middle between these 2 fans, so right here, make a half double crochet. 2 half double crochets inside the next fan, a half double crochet in between the fans, and again 2 half double crochets in the chain space of the next fan, and so on. Continue like this all around, just making these half double crochets. I will meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of row 13. This is the first row for the cuff here. Now I have a total of 30 half double crochets for this row. To finish, go on top of the first half double crochet and join with a slip stitch. Now for row 14 and 15, we're going to chain 1, and beginning with this first stitch, make a front post half double crochet. Into the next back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet into the next, and so on. And this is how we're going to continue for row 14. At the end of this row, we're going to have 30 stitches, and to finish, you're going to join here on top of the first stitch, make a slip stitch, chain 1, and then repeat the same thing. A front post, then a back post, front post, back post, half double crochet all around. So go ahead and finish these last 2 rows, row 14 and 15. I'll come back and show you the finished sweater. I finished making the sleeve. Here at the end of the last row, row 15, I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through that last loop. I already hit my ends, and the sleeve is all done. Now you're going to do exactly the same thing that we did with this sleeve. You're going to do it here for this other side. It's done exactly in the same way. So this little cardigan is all done. This is how it looks. This is the bottom. I already went ahead and attached my buttons. Now these buttons here are 11mm size. You can also use 12mm size for this size. You may need smaller or bigger size buttons depending on the size that you make. I added 5 buttons, and again these are 11mm size. So here's the little cardigan. This is how it looks. It's a beautiful stitch pattern. This is the marshmallow stitch. Now as I showed you in the tutorial, I already have another little jacket with this same stitch pattern, and I actually have little pants and a little hat to match this one here. This one is slightly bigger. If you want to see this tutorial, I'll leave the link in the information box. So here's the finished little sweater. Now let me give you the finished measurements. From the neckline to the end of the sleeve, it's measuring about 23.5 centimeters, which is about 9.25 inches. From under the sleeve to the end of the sleeve, it's measuring about 14 centimeters, which is about 5.5 inches. Now, this measurement right across, it's measuring about 11 centimeters, which is about 4.25 inches. Now, I forgot to measure the total length. The total length is 25 centimeters, which is almost 10 inches. Now the chest measurement, just the top, it's measuring about 21 centimeters, which is about 8.25 inches. So based on these measurements, this little cardigan sweater coat or jacket is for baby boys and girls between 0 and 3 months. Now you can easily make it smaller or bigger from a newborn size and up to 12 months. Down here in the information box, I'll go ahead and leave you some information on how you can easily make it smaller or bigger, so be sure to check that out. And as always, if you prefer a written pattern, check out my Etsy shop. I'll leave the link to my Etsy shop in the information box below. Now, as far as yarn, I used exactly 100 grams for the 0 to 3 month size. You will need less or more depending on the size that you make. Now, stay tuned. In another tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the matching little pants. Okay, so this was today's tutorial. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.